like some of the comments I get on my Twitter that say, well, I tried to make money and I lost, so I'm never going to do that again. Well, that's a loser. How many times have I failed? You guys have seen me, like you guys have been around me for years. I get screwed and blued and tattooed just like everybody else. But each crash makes me stronger, anti-fragile.
Yeah.
And that's where it starts. And everybody has that in them. Even if they didn't go to a great school, we all have a spirit. We all have a soul. We all have dreams. We all have desires. But it takes time. It's like Tiger Woods didn't become the greatest golfer on earth taking one golf lesson. You know what I mean? He lost. He's gone down. He's gone up. He's the greatest athlete I know. But he took his back out. His wife divorced him, and his wife took a 8-iron to his SUV. He's publicly humiliated. He can't play golf, but he still comes back and wins the Masters again.
Yeah.
That's what I'm talking about. We all have that in us, except if we have a bad attitude in our mind. So some of those comments I've seen on my Twitter site is, well, I'm not interested in money. Well, you're a host. Those few words, I'm not interested in money, or I don't want to be rich, screws you for the rest of your life.
Yeah. And Robert, one thing that you've always told us is to have our mission in mind, right? And I think that's when you really have control over your life, because if you're selling yourself to your salary or to your paycheck, then you've already sold yourself. But if you always have your mission in mind, like you've mentioned to us so many times, and I see you live, breathe, and eat this mission, that's when you end up like yourself, not needing money.
Well, it's not only that. If they took Rich Dad away and all my money away, I wouldn't change a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'd still be doing the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people, if they lose their job, they change jobs. But this is my job. This is my mission. And that's why I went to military school versus university. And I went to the Marine Corps versus the Peace Corps. You know what I mean? That's a different being. So everybody has that spirit inside of them. It's a lot of times, especially when times are good, you don't have to call on your spirit. You just cruise. You get a job, you can make some money. But right now, when you're sitting at home, is a good time to reevaluate life. But what keeps me going is this, and it's spiritual.
Yeah.
Is how can I serve others? How can I serve the planet? How can I fix this problem? And millennials, it's not just millennials, it's just human beings in general.
Yeah.
If you can get back to being one, being compassionate, you'll always have idiots here. You'll always have idiots here and idiots here. Mm-hmm. But just stay in your spirit.
Yeah.
So like when I saw that guy, he's probably 45 years old. I couldn't imagine being a father saying, I need money for my kids. And, I gave him a few bucks, but it doesn't help.
No.
When I gave him a few bucks, I was just saying, hey, we're one.
Yeah.
I feel your pain. And so what's happening, I think, it's not just millennials, it's human beings are idiots,
Yeah.
We inflict a lot of pain. But this is spiritual intelligence, is how do we make it one?
Mm-hmm.
Like my love of trees. When I see people cutting down trees, I want to kill them.
Yeah.
I want to kill them. And then the oceans, it just breaks my heart because I grew up in the oceans.
Oh, yeah.
So when we're in our spiritual, in our heart, in our silence of the brain, of the mind, then we're most effective.
And I think you nailed it there, Robert, because I think a lot of us haven't made the shift from being just in our mental to spiritual.
Right.
And so we're so concentrated on me.
Correct.
And it's been because of the era we grew up in, and just all these platforms are just about me. And so I think if a lot of us made the shift from mental to spiritual and concentrated on the greater good, we'd do a lot better in life, be more successful too. And it's sad that we have lived our lives so small instead of thinking bigger.
I read a book a while ago. It was called Mindset or something.
Yeah, it's a book called Mindset. It was written by an author, Carol Dweck. And what she talked about is basically we each have, there's two two primary mindsets, and we tend to have one primary of the two. One is the fixed mindset. So a person with a fixed mindset basically says, I was born with this much intelligence, I'm gonna stay with this much intelligence, I know as much as I know, and that's it. But I'm smart. And the fixed mindset has a hard time learning. They have a hard time growing because they already think they know all the answers.
There's something else a fixed mindset does. They want to make sure that you don't grow, because they want to make sure that you don't get past them.
Right.
So
right.
they have to always pretend to be smarter, better, richer, more in control of their life than you. But the fixed mindset actually screws themselves because they cannot grow.
Right, and you'll recognize a fixed mindset. So let's say you're having a conversation. I'm talking to somebody. I said, "Oh, I just read this new book. Oh, yeah, I know all about that." Okay. Oh, I'm studying this new marketing concept. Oh, I've already done that.
Or how about the guy we talked to yesterday?
Yeah, he said, I like your advice, but I think I already know the answers. I'm like, why are you asking? So the fixed mindset, really, they don't take on new challenges, but the other mindset is called the growth mindset, and that's what we're all about, and that's what you need to be an entrepreneur. So a growth mindset, they always think they can get better. They always think they can grow. They love new challenges. They love new ideas and problem
concepts.
Solving. And I'll give you one quick example. There was a study that was done, and it was with kids, and these kids were given a puzzle. And so the puzzle, you had so much time to do the puzzle. So they did the puzzle. Then they had a second option. You can either do the same puzzle again, or you can do a new, harder puzzle. Well, immediately you saw the difference between the fixed mindset and the growth mindset, because the fixed mindset goes, oh, I want to be right. I want to get the right answer, so I'm going to do the same puzzle again. The growth mindset goes, why in the world would you do the same puzzle again? Give me the harder one. I want to learn. I want to grow. So that's a very quick example of the difference. And as an entrepreneur, you really have got to have that growth mindset.
Again, real financial education or real financial literacy starts with a financial statement.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I say, well, who am I looking for? Again, you want to get your brain into the asset column or into the investor quadrant. So there's 4 types of assets out there. Number 1 is a business. The richest guys and women on earth own businesses, or they inherit businesses. Number 2 is real estate.
Yeah.
Okay, I love real estate. I just love it. Number 3, the worst, is paper.
Yeah.
And your generation, my generation, they all have stocks, bonds, mutual funds, ETF, and savings. The worst. And number 4 are commodities. Okay, those are the 4 basic asset classes. So when I'm cruising around, sitting in the airport doing something, I go to YouTube, and if I want to learn about businesses, I go to YouTube on business. I go to YouTube on real estate. I stay away from it. I listen to those guys on paper. I just can't do what they do because stocks, bonds, mutual funds. I mean, you should do it, not me, okay? I don't like it. They're so overvalued today. They don't make sense. Yeah. How can you have stocks with no earnings trading at $25 billion each? That's fake. Yeah. But boy, people are buying. You got to be crazy. It doesn't make any sense anymore. The stock market makes no sense to me. So I don't care for paper. But if you do, invest in it. But study it. And then there's commodities. And as the last thing I was showing you, silver is the most underpriced quasi-asset going today. So I go to YouTube. I want to find out stuff on business. I tune that in. I look at, everybody has something valuable to say, even though they're full of it. I don't want people to agree with everything I think about. I want them to disagree, because in the disagreement you learn. Okay, so you got business, real estate, paper, which you can. Your generation's taught. My generation's taught to be in, and commodities. So I go there, I look, and I learn. But this is the big difference here. E's and S's focus here. The rich focus here. And you see, that's why I don't want a job or anything like that. These guys want a job, they have salary, interest. Their big problem is they pay the most taxes. E's and S's pay the most taxes. The B's and I's focus here. We don't pay taxes legally. And that makes a lot of people angry, especially the millennials. They want to tax the rich.
Yeah.
Well, you can't tax the rich because they don't have any income. You see, if you have a job and you have income, you're taxed. If you're a small business person, a small entrepreneur with a pizza shop or something, you pay the highest taxes. But because they're rich, my rich dad taught me to focus here. My poor dad taught me to focus here. And that's what they're not teaching in school. Because to understand this, they would have to teach you this here. And most school teachers are here and here. They know nothing about this and this. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, it makes sense. I mean, and when you tie it into school teachers, I think of, okay, if I want to lose weight, I go to a personal trainer who has the body I want. So why do we go to these teachers when they aren't accomplishing what we want to accomplish?
Right. Most school, like most of the young people your age today, a lot of them want to become entrepreneurs. The problem with this, you have to understand tax. You see, this is all over the world, very little difference. These guys pay 40% of their money in taxes. So they make $1,000, they're going to spend $400 in taxes. These guys that make $1,000, they're going to pay 60% in tax. So our schools are teaching entrepreneurship, but they're not teaching them tax, okay? And because they're focusing on income. Over here, it's 20% in tax. So they make $1,000, only $200 goes to tax, and these guys, 0%. So the reason financial education isn't working in our school systems is they're teaching financial education for these people and these people, but to really become rich, you have to focus on this side here. So let me explain why games are the best teachers, okay? We can look here. Bear with me, okay? So here we have, let's call it the student. And this is a tetrahedron. Okay?
Okay.
So the student, you and me, all of us, we have mental. So we all have mental intelligence, And mental intelligence is knowing right from wrong, good from bad, up and down. We also have physical intelligence. And great athletes, they're more physically intelligent than guys like me.
Yeah.
And then you have emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is fear, sadness, joy, okay? And you've got to control this. Many people, when it comes to money, this is the biggest fact. This is the most important intelligence because most people go to school and they're taught not to make mistakes. Yeah. If you make a mistake, you're stupid. So they don't do anything. If you're afraid of making mistakes, that means you're emotionally constipated. You need an enema, because you went to school and said, don't make mistakes. And then the last one is spiritual intelligence. So let me explain spiritual intelligence. Mental intelligence puts things in a minimum of 2. Good, bad, right, wrong, up and down. Spiritual intelligence is 1. We're all united. Like, you and I are human beings, so I unite to you. When I communicate with you, I unite with you. But if it's mental, I say, Alex is smart, Alex is stupid. I'm now dividing us. And that's what our schools are doing. So the reason games are the best teachers, at least Monopoly was for me, and our board game Cash Flow, the reason I created Cash Flow, is a game will engage me mentally. I'm interested. It gets me emotionally. Nobody likes to lose, And then physically, I have to do something. I like the board game better than the electronic game because I have to do the math.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? When you do the math, you're actually getting smarter. And then it's spiritually, I want to make sure you win, and I don't have to take you out to win Cash Flow. Do you know what I mean? I don't have to make you the loser. But that's what schools do. They have to have one person smart, one person stupid, one winner, one loser. So when I'm teaching you either real estate or business and all this, I don't want you to lose. I want you to win. So once again, the games are the better teachers, like the game of Monopoly, simply because it involves your physical intelligence. And the more you do your numbers on the cash flow game, the smarter you get. Emotionally, because nobody likes to lose. This is really surprising. A lot of people lose because they got too happy. Do you know what I mean?
Too excited.
Yeah, now what happened? Oh, I'm rich. Then I get egotistical and arrogant, you know? I get cocky, and I'm smarter, I'm richer. Then you lose. And you also lose if you've been told, well, I'm stupid, and I failed, and all this stuff. You also lose. So that's why games are the best teachers, because you go up and down emotionally as you're playing the game. But spiritually is we get together to help each other out.
Yeah.
We're one.